what color socks do bears wear? What color socks do bears wear? Ready? They don't wear socks. They have bare feet. Like bear, like they don't wear anything, but it's a bear. Like growl. So great. Alright, here is your frame for today. It's a distributive property. Alright, so your key topic is distributive property. And distributive property is about removing grouping symbols by multiplying first. Distribute means that you're handing out or you're giving it out evenly. Okay, so A means that we're going to give it to this B, and then we're going to also distribute it or give it to the C. So A times the quantity of B plus C equals A times B plus A times C. Alright, let's practice that out. So in this first one, we have 4 times the quantity of A plus 3. So far, we haven't learned how to get rid of those grouping symbols. So what's going to happen is, whoops, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, what we're really doing here, we can think about this as area. Alright, if we think about this as a box, my beautiful box here. Alright, here's 4, that's the length. We're multiplying it by A plus 3. Alright, so here's A, and then here's about 3. So instead of saying, well, we can't figure it out, we don't know what this box is because we don't know what A is, we can at least figure out part of the box. So what we can do is we can split the box apart into 2 parts, where this is 4, this is still 4, A, and 3. So if we're figuring out the area, this would be 4 times A, and this would be 4 times 3, which is 12. So we end up with 4A plus 12. That's all we're doing here, is we're just breaking this apart. Alright, so we're going to take this 4, give it to the A, multiply it by the A, and also multiply it by the 3. So we get 4 times A plus 4 times 3. 4 times A is just 4A, plus 4 times 3 is 12. Done. Now we can't do anything because we don't know anything yet until we know what the A is. Alright, go on to the next example. Alright, we have a negative out here. This is playing hide and go seek with our 2-year-old cousin. There's something hiding in there. We gotta figure out what it is. You just gotta look for it. It's a negative 1 times 2 minus x, or times the quantity of 2 minus x. Okay, they're subtracting on the inside. We want that to be adding, so we're going to add the opposite. Alright, now we can distribute this negative 1 here and here. So we get negative 1 times 2 plus negative 1 times negative x. Alright, negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 plus negative 1 times negative x. Well, negative times a negative is a positive, and 1 times x is x. So we just get positive x. Now they are not like terms, so we're done. Going on to the third example. Alright, first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to change the subtracting to adding the opposite. Notice that our x is on this side, so there's 2 ways we can do this. Either we can go backwards this way, but if you're like me, I'm a person that I like things a certain way. Alright, I just like order a little bit better. So I'm going to take this blue, we're multiplying, so I'm going to take this blue, and this is green, and I'm going to use the commutative property of multiplication. And when I do the commutative property of multiplication, since I'm multiplying these 2 things, I can switch it around. So I just moved the x onto the other side. Now we distribute it. Cha! Cha! Alright, so we get x times 6 plus x times negative x. We have to do the multiplying first, so x times 6, the proper way to write that is just 6x. Alright, plus x times x, negative x. Okay, well x times x is x to the second power. Positive times negative is a negative. Alright, this is x, and this has an x in it, but it's x to the second power. So these are not like terms. So that means we are donezo. Alright, going on to our last example. In our last example, we have distributing, but we're also going to have to simplify this. Okay, so as we go, we have to say what we're doing. So the first thing that we're going to do is change this to adding the opposite. Alright, we're going to distribute out this 2. Chow! Chow! Alright, so first we're using the distributive property. So we do 2 times 4q plus 2 times negative 1. Since we use the distributive property, we don't need those parentheses anymore. So we have plus 5q minus 4. Now I use the order of operations to say that we need to do that multiplying first. 2 times 4q, that's 2 4q's. 4q plus 4q is 8q. Plus 2 times negative 1, that's negative 2. I'm going to change the subtracting here to adding the opposite. Ho ho ho! Guess what? We have some like terms. So I'm going to use my highlighting technique. Here is 8q. Here is 5q. They both have the same variable part, which is q. Here is negative 2 and negative 4. Those both have the same variable part. They don't have a variable attached to them. So I'm then going to use my commutative property of addition and I'm going to switch these around so that my like terms are next to each other. So I get 8q plus 5q plus negative 2 plus negative 4. I then use my associative property of addition and group them together. So I get 8q plus 5q plus negative 2 plus negative 4. 8q plus 5q, that's 8q's plus 5 more, we get 13. 13q plus negative 2 plus negative 4, that's negative 6. These are not like terms, so now we are done. Alright, going on to your so what? You need to distribute evenly. That means if I have A times B plus C, you must distribute this out. Can't just give it to the B. You have to give the A to both the B and the C. Also change adding or subtracting. Change. What was that? Don't know what that was. Change subtracting to adding the opposite. One more thing right before I go is take, oh man, this doesn't look very good. I'll do this one. Take your quiz. Okay, bye.